Hi there, my name is Lucy Reiber, and I'm going to give you a quick demo of Call Journey for you today. So Call Journey is one of our speech analytic platforms that we offer here at Avtex, and it's a post-call analytic tool. So basically what that means is all of the analytics in the transcription process happens after the call disconnects. So once a call ends, it gets uploaded to this platform, and then the audio file gets transformed into a transcript, and that's searchable by keyword. And by doing that, that's what really enables us to run all the analytics on your calls. So what we're looking at here is kind of the main homepage of Call Journey. And on the top, you'll notice that we have this overview dashboard. On the left side, we have a chart that outlines call volume received over the past couple of weeks. And on the right side, we have a bunch of run-of-the-mill call center statistics listed. So if I were to click on a particular day on this chart, it's going to pull up all of the relevant stats for that day, as well as the previous day, a week average, and an average for the date range of all the calls that you have uploaded. If you want to choose something other, like another metric other than call volume to look at, you have a couple other options. You could do call duration, and in addition to call duration, on this left side chart, you're also going to see data for agent and client talk time, as well as silence duration. And just as before, on the previous chart, if I click on a particular day, it's going to pull up all the stats relevant for that day. Now moving to the right, this middle chart here lists all the calls broken down by call length as well as by emotion. So Call Journey offers sentiment analysis for their calls, and there's 4 different emotions that could ever be classified in a call. And so kind of working our way from left to right, best to worst, we have positive, improving, worsening, and negative. Then on the far right, we have all the calls broken down into percentages strictly only by call duration. Another view that we could look at on this overview dashboard is client or agent emotion. And I'll choose client emotion because that's usually something that our customers are really interested in. You know, they want to see how many of our customers are calling in angry or agitated or frustrated. And this is going to be pretty similar to what we saw for the call duration, but we'll have this line chart documenting the data over the last couple of weeks. I can click on a particular day and it'll give me relevant data for that day. And then the next 2 charts kind of broken down specifically by each emotion as well as the percentages corresponding with that. Now, in addition to this overview dashboard, Call Journey offers a couple of additional dashboards right out of the box, and they call them applications. And those 3 that they offer are listed across the top here. One is called Agent Performance, one is called Call Drivers, and the other one is Customer Experience. So with these applications, Call Journey has already done all of the heavy lifting and language scripting that goes along with that. So like I said, it's out of box, so you could start using it the day that you kind of hit the ground running with it. So if I click on Call Drivers, what's going to pop up is this dashboard. And the way that applications are organized is that there's high-level categories that are broken down into subcategories. So in this case, the high-level categories are these 4 across the top right here. So billing, account services, technical support, and ordering. Now, just as before, I can click on a particular category as well on a particular day, and it's going to pull up stats for that day. So if this case, if I was interested in billing on this particular day, I can click on it. And on the right, it's going to pull up all of these subcategories that are contained underneath the high-level billing category. And then as we can see percentages and the number of calls that we had for that day that were tagged with these particular categories. Now, all of these applications are going to function largely the same, especially in the organization. So you're going to have high-level categories that are broken down into subcategories, and you'll see it broken down into weeks on the left, and then the subcategories and the corresponding data on the right. Now, if you're looking at this and kind of saying, okay, these are great, but they don't really vibe with the types of things that are being said in our contact center, that's not a problem at all. All of these applications are completely customizable to the exact language that's being said in your contact center. So if you have the freedom to really tailor it to the exact words and the exact phrases that your customers are using, as well as your agents. In addition, if there's also other products or if you're in a particular industry that isn't represented here, you definitely have the freedom to add that in, and really make this as customizable and tailored perfectly to your contact center and what's being said within there. Additionally to these three applications, if there's another trend that you're interested in measuring, you could also create additional applications and build them out off of your own. And again, you would have all the freedom in the world to really have the power and say which words and phrases do we want to include, which high-level categories and which subcategories do we want to include in the organization of that application. Now, if you wanted to do kind of an ad hoc search, maybe just see how often a particular phrase is occurring in your calls, they have a really nice ad hoc search tool, and that's at the bottom of the main homepage. So as you can see, we have about 1,500 calls on this environment, and those are all listed right here. And Call Journey provides all these different filters on the left here that you could use to dwindle down these entries to really a much more manageable amount of calls to work with. So one of the most common ways is just to, like I said, search by keyword or phrase. So that's what I'll do. And if I was really interested in seeing all of the calls where, not happy was being said, and I can add this for, because that means I want these words to occur within 4 words of each other. So if I add that on as a filter, what we're going to see is we see, okay, not happy, not happy. At the bottom, we see not very happy, not really happy. Those are all different variations of this phrase at the top of just not happy. So what happens if I were to open up one of these calls is it will bring us to the transcript for that call. So, the things that your eyes are kind of probably be drawn to right off the bat is this red and green highlighting. So anytime that there is highlighting or bolded text in a certain color, that means that sentiment is being tagged at that point in the call. So obviously green is going to be positive or improving sentiment, and the red is going to be negative or worsening sentiment. Additionally, you'll also notice that the original search term that we used of not happy is also highlighted in the transcript, so you can see exactly where that occurs. Some other things that I want to point out in the transcript is on the left here, you'll see all the metadata that corresponds with this exact call. So you'll see percentages for call duration, silence time, the amount of time that an agent is talking over the customer, as well as, overall an agent and client emotion. Additionally, on interactions, you can also get application scores. So basically what this means is all of these applications listed here, these 3 correspond with the same out-of-box applications that Call Journey gives you. And additionally, if you had any extra ones listed, they would also show up down here. So one way that I might use this is if I wanted to get a quick understanding of, why is this customer calling in, I could click on View Scores for the call driver application. Once I click that, we see that the only high-level category that had a hit for one of the phrases was account services. We see that listed by the 17% here. So if I can expand then that high-level category of account services and see the subcategories within that. And from here we see of the subcategories, the only thing that got a hit was the change product or service subcategory. So I can keep on going and keep expanding into the subcategories. And here we see the only phrase that they said was they wanted to add a product. So I can click on this number on the right, the score of the one phrase for adding a product, and it's actually going to highlight exactly in the transcript where that customer is saying that. So in this case, they're saying, I think I'll just buy another phone. And if there were multiple phrases, I could use these arrows on the right to toggle kind of between them. So that is a really quick run through of Call Journey and the different types of things that it has to offer. If any of this piqued your interest or if you have more questions about it, please feel free to reach out to your point of contact at Avtex, and we can be sure to get you set up, have further conversations, and maybe get you a more in-depth demo of Call Journey and everything it has to offer. Great. Thank you, everybody.